but before that it was like 3 or 4 a night. But yeah, it's good.
Awesome. So if I'm correct, you have prepared a presentation for us?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's dive into that.
Right. Now you're supposed to see my screen, right?
Yeah, exactly. We see your screen.
Now it's in full screen mode. And now you don't have any black bars, correct? All right. Yep. So let's start with my presentation. Hello World B. And I'm going to explain what is different today from tomorrow, but I meant yesterday. So what is different today from yesterday? Well, first of all, B made it, you know, like we have the first stable version 1.0. I think the developer team right now is like doing really the last things, but in the upcoming, I would say half an hour, the first stable version V1.0 will be released on GitHub and then rolled out later today. So we made it to the base camp and we have time right now to kind of consolidate and see where we are standing and enjoy the view. So I'm really happy personally about this. I'm really happy to be part of the Swarm team and to like experience this moment with everybody. So yes. And yeah, so about B, right? So if you go to our GitHub, you see this. So for those who have been, I don't know, living under a stone or like maybe tuning into Swarm for the first time. So B is a Swarm client implemented in Golang. It is the basic building block for the Swarm network, which is a private, decentralized and self-sustaining network for the permissionless publishing and access of your application data. So B was the third iteration actually of this whole Swarm project. B consists of more than 100,000 lines of code created by 1,201 commits, and the B project itself started a little bit more than a year ago, but again, the B was already the third iteration. And B received contributions from 36 contributors. So this is much bigger than our team. So we also have open source contributors. And B, of course, is not the only repository that we have. We have in total, as a Swarm, we have 121 repositories that all work together into creating this Swarm network. But B definitely is a very important one because it contains the client code that's right now people all around the world can run and are running already. B is there for node operators to join the Swarm network and put their storage to use for the Swarm network. B is there for web developers to make decentralized applications. And above all, I would say B is there for anybody who wants back the digital freedom. So, hello world, B. And what is different today from yesterday? Well, the stable release. And then what does this really mean, right? The stable release. Well, for those who have been working with us for the last half a year and bearing with us and trying to keep up to date, you probably know that B so far has been anything but stable. I mean, we have been rolling out the code so fast that we had to break our testing network a couple of times, right? But that's why a testing network is there, is to test and to be broken. But with the 1.0 release, we are releasing it on mainnet, and the mainnet will be stable. But the mainnet also will have the real utility token, BCC. So we're going to see the incentives playing out for real. B contains all the essential features for the Swarm to work. And we provide more stability for developers and for node operators. And I go into each of these points. So the B nodes work with BCC, which keeps node operators honest and ensure collaboration. And we have kind of two subsystems inside the B that are working. So we have the Swarm accounting protocol, which allows node operators to earn money by providing the bandwidth services. And basically it helps everybody to collaborate with each other to route all the requests in the network. And then we have the postage stamps, and this very shortly ensures optimal storage allocation over this big shared network all around the world. then I think it's important that the node operators earn BCC because they are providing their service, and the end users pay the BCC because they're using the service for the network. And it's powered by the XDAI sidechain. All right, so B also contains all the essential features for Swarm to work. And what does it mean? So the essential characteristics of Swarm are, well, of course, it's a decentralized storage and communication service, but it has privacy preserving and permissionless upload and download, robust defenses against blocking or changing access to content once it is published, auto-scaling with increased demands, integrity protected content, and eventually forgetting content that is no longer relevant to preserve. So for those people, you know, like the numbering is a bit weird, but yeah, what I said, we've been working very hard, but I think you get it. And yeah, so these are the points. I don't have time to go into each of those, but if you are triggered by this and you're very curious to hear like how on earth Swarm and the Swarm network can realize all these points, I invite all of you to read the Swarm white paper, which is 13 pages. I think it's very accessible for people to read. And then if you're really interested and you want to dive even more further and learn more about the vision and the background, you can read the book of Swarm. So both of these papers are recommended to read if you want to know how Swarm has these characteristics, how it works. Then the last part, I already mentioned it, more stability for developers and node operators. So shortly, from this point onwards, we care about your data and we care about not breaking your application. And in practical, this means that, whenever the Swarm network receives protocol updates, if needed and possible, we are going to provide a migration path to migrate your data. If you are using or consuming the APIs or you're consuming the data in the network, it's good to know that all the APIs are versioned. So I advise you to directly reference one of those fixed version APIs. And all the APIs, endpoints, and data structures are supported for at least 3 months, so that will give you ample time to update your application. But of course, Swarm is also a network, and it's a rather complex piece of software that's going to be run all around the world. So we need to also have this possibility to do an emergency response, and an emergency response kind of like, then we cannot adhere, of course, to the 3 months backwards compatibility. But these are only for very critical bugs that would severely impact the retrievability or upload possibility of content in the network, or for those kind of bugs that may cause the loss of BCC for node operators. So these are rather critical, of course, and whenever there is such an emergency, very emergent bug, you can be assured that we will update you as soon as possible. Yeah, and then the last point, I want to mention it as well. Always keep a backup of your data, especially in the beginning. And what does it mean? So we want to have it there for you to be able to repair your data in the network, and also to facilitate migration if this is needed. It's very easy. You should always upload your content with the Swarm pin header to true. And you also keep a local backup of all your data on your own file system. Yeah. Well, let's start B. There we go. Thank you.
Amazing, Eknir. I can imagine you feel very excited right now about all this. You know, the only thing that I really want to ask you is, what about the airdrop? Because in Discord, you know, there was such a number of questions about the airdrop. So can you shed some light on that?
Yeah, I can. I can even shed a slide on it.
Oh, you have a slide for that?
Here you are. So I didn't put in too much effort for this slide because I think the communications team of Swarm already did an amazing job. So anyways, I would like to reference everybody to our post on Medium. The Swarm airdrop is finishing June 21st. That's the date, so you can all find it with that. But there's going to be like a couple of phases. I think it's important that you know it's referenced in this blog post, but I just repeat it right now. So June 21st, this evening, the trusted nodes stop operating. So these are the nodes who have been running on the girly node and who are kind of gathering who is getting like checks, right? We're also going to reset our network. So there will be test network from tomorrow onwards, but the test network will have a different set of boot nodes. And if you still want to run the testnet node, which I highly advise, please don't try to migrate your old node, just start a node anew, right? June 12th is the last moment to cash out your checks. In June 15, you can see your girly ABZZ balance on airdrop.eswarm.org. July 22, ABZZ freeze, and August the 2nd, BZZ airdrop on XDAI.
Awesome. I think it might be interesting to just explain a little bit more. Like, so we're dropping the BCZ on XDAI, right? Not on Ethereum mainnet.
Yeah.
Can you maybe explain why we are doing that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the whole reason of this airdrop, right, is to incentivize, to ensure that the tokens are there around in the network, and the tokens in the end are there to be used, right? And Swarm, what I already said, we are working with the XDAI sidechain, is operating the Swarm network. So of course we could send this XDAI on the mainnet, right? But then people need to convert it to the sidechain. So just by dropping it on the sidechain, people have it immediately at the place and they can start using it. Yeah,
that seems
run
like
the nodes.
like it's convenient. I'll definitely be doing that in the coming weeks. So Eknir, thank you so much for your presentation and for being here, and especially for the amazing job you did, you know, getting B ready for mainnet launch.
Yeah, has been a ride. Thanks.
So much. Okay, so we can go to the next speaker or the next guest. I don't want to call this person a guest because he's been part of the team for such a long time. And well, I can always say like my friend Wojtek, are you there?
Hello, Michelle. Yes, I'm here.
Oh, you are amazing. So Wojtek, you have something really, really beautiful to show us today. So I'm not going to talk about it with you. I hope you can just demo it and show it, and I leave it up to you.
Yeah, that's the aim, to show it and to demo it to the world. Thank you very much, Michelle. With the launch of the Swarm network, we realized that there is a need for a very easy access and for testing purposes to your files and to upload stuff to the network. And this is what a gateway is. So basically, it's an access point to a network. It allows you to upload and download files from the Swarm network. And some of you may remember that we already had a gateway, but for the occasion of the Swarm of the B 1.0, we needed to step up the game a little bit. And together with the rest of the Swarm team and a designer, I think we came up with a really nice new gateway that I'm very happy to show to you today. So let me try and share my screen. I hope you guys can see it.
It's working perfectly.
Okay, wonderful. So this is the new gateway. It's as the catch line says, it's the easiest way to share and access your files on the Swarm network. So let's go ahead and let's try it. So I'm going to click to share. It's going to show me the features and the limitations of the gateway. But this is a one-time thing, and once I agree with it, I can very easily drag and drop files. So I'm a big cat lover, and these are my two cats, Sherry and Gustav or Gustavo. which is what the internet is for, to share cats, and now we can do that with Swarm as well. So let me upload these files, and as you can see, once I upload, I get the web link, which is directly the link to the gateway, or I can also get the Swarm hash. But let's go with the web link so that I have the full access to this file. And as I try to download it, I actually see the preview. If the file has been uploaded with the gateway, I actually see the preview of the file. I see some information about it, like the size, what type it is, and I can directly download it and access it from the gateway. If I don't have the full link, or if I've uploaded with some other tool, like for example the Swarm CLI that Attila will demo, I can always go to the access page, paste the link here, and go ahead and find the file and download it again. So as you can see, this is also very mobile friendly, so you can just go on your phone, you can snap a picture, and you can directly upload it and share it with your friends. We hope you're going to like this tool. We had a lot of fun building it, and there's a lot more to come from it as well. And that's pretty much it from my side.
Well, thank you so much, Wojtek. That simply looks amazing, and with your cats in that gateway, it looks even more amazing. Do you realize you just chunked and fragmented your cats?
I know, but at least they are pretty much all around the world with me, right? No matter where I go.
That's a lovely thought, and I think we can say that your data is somewhere spread all around the world, but when you need it, just go to the gateway and all the chunks will magically come back, and and your cats will be back with you. Wojtek, thank you so much for the extremely hard work you have been doing working on that gateway. I'm really proud that I can be working with you. I really mean that. So thank you so much, and I will see you in a few.
Thank you very much, Michel.
Thank you. Well, next up, we have Attila. I hope I pronounced it right because I've been practicing this like for almost a year now. So Attila, if you're there, please show your face and unmute yourself, because you're also gonna have like pretty awesome demos for us, as far as I understood. Are you there, Attila?
Yes, Michel, can you hear me?
Hey, there you go. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah? How much sleep did you get like the last couple of days?
Well, I try to keep at least 6 hours a night, so I'm quite relaxed.
Okay. Hey, let's not lose time with chit chat. We can do that later. I'm really curious about what you're going to show us. So please go ahead.
Let me share my screen. I prepared the presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yep, screen, yep.
Yeah, I will just keep it like that because I will need to switch between the tabs. But so basically, I would like to talk about the Swarm JavaScript team. So we formed the JavaScript team about last October, and since then we are working on several projects, and I would like to talk about this. But before, I would like to talk about the motivation. Why do we have this team? So we believe that Swarm is a perfect platform for decentralized applications and browser-based applications that is most likely written in JavaScript. And basically, we are working on making these decentralized applications on Swarm possible and easy. And the team is currently 5 people. And we are working hard on several projects at the same time to deliver like JavaScript browser magic and also command line stuff. So what we are doing is basically we can divide it to 4 major parts. We are working on APIs, we are working on developer tooling, research and collaboration, and community and sandbox projects. And I will I don't go too deeply inside these topics, but I would like to give you a full picture as well as some demos. So our current projects are BJS, the Swarm CLI tool, a dashboard, a Swarm browser extension, and the Swarm gateway, which Wojtek just demoed. So the BJS is a JavaScript client library for connecting to the B decentralized storage. From JavaScript, it provides full B API functionality in JavaScript, and we keep the versions in lockstep with the B releases. So at the same day the new B version is released, we release a new BJS version that supports the same functionality that is released, or if there is any breaking changes, we support those. Also, our other projects are built on top of BJS, so we also release our other projects on the same day as well. So it means that, like, if you are using any of our projects that comes from Swarm, then basically you can be sure if you download the latest version, it's going to work, or at least it's going to fail gracefully. At least tells you what's the problem. But I would like to show you a demo of BJS, but it's like a client-side library, so it's not that easy to demo. I can, like, basically it provides the B API functionality at this moment, and it's pretty complete. So it has every API implemented and tested, and we use it in projects to make sure that it works well. So one of these projects is this Swarm CLI tool, which is a CLI tool for Swarm and B client operations. You can use it for convenience. I think it's much better and much more convenient to use than using curl. And also you can use it, or we envision using it for automation, for example, GitHub jobs. And, you know, we imagine that people will build websites eventually for Swarm, and then this would be like part of your build pipeline and stuff like this. So it's pretty complete. It has commands for pinning, identity, feed, check, stamps, PSS, sending and receiving, and also uploading files and checking your B node status. And I don't have a demo because I think, like, writing CLI stuff is not that exciting, but actually Aaron has prepared some demos already, which is on our README, so you can see it, like, how it works in operations. So you can simplify buying postage stamps with it. It gives you a lot of convenience functionality, so you don't have to write the full amount. For example, you can have you can use, like, suffixes and stuff. Uploading works automatically, like as it should. You can create and manage several identities, and when you are using, like when you are creating identities, it provides you an interactive like dialogues for confirmation, and it provides you, like, very friendly operations. And also uploading to a feed, it helps you selecting, for example, the stamp for your action. And when it uploads the files, then when it starts to update the feed, you can just select your identities, and then it will use that for updating your feed. So if you have tried this before, you may know that this is very, like, cumbersome to use. You have to copy and paste this long hex string, which I the postage stamps are very long hex IDs, and then the identities can be those. And we were thinking of how we could make this more convenient, and I think we are getting there. So this is one project I wanted to talk about. And the other project is what I want to show a demo is B dashboard. So B dashboard is an admin interface for B node operations. It's basically built with web technologies. It's like a website. It's a React app that you can install on your machine. And once you open it, it connects to your B node. And then from that, you can see, like, the status of your B node. So it looks like this. My B node is running as expected. It tells me the version, the public keys, like necessary information. I can use it to upload and download files to the network. I can manage my postage stamps from here directly. And also I can manage my checks from here. So I can withdraw deposit. Also I can cash out from here directly. So also, if you have tried the command line before, I think this is a significant step forward in, like, helping people use it more easily, because like we imagine that a lot of people are not familiar with the command line, and essentially they can use these kind of tools that helps them navigate visually. And there is one more thing I wanted to talk about today, is that we are working on a Swarm browser extension. Currently it's proof of concept, but we are working hard on getting it to public release. Basically, we are doing a lot of browser security and API research in this project. And then the Swarm extension currently provides secure context, connection management, and VJS API integration, and also POST-it stamp integration. We imagine that this research could point us in the future to defining how dApps could be working securely in the browser environment and even more. So this was my presentation mostly. So to recap, like on the API side, we are working on VJS, developer tooling Swarm CLI, research and collaboration currently Swarm extension, community and sandbox project is the B dashboard, and gateway what Wojtek showed to you. And we have many plans, and we are planning to grow the team. So if you are interested, connect to us, and we will hopefully find like the future together.
What a beautiful sentence to end with, Attila. You can stop sharing your screen now, I think. Attila, thank you so much for your presentation. You said like that the BCLI is not really interesting or something like that, or that it's boring. I don't find this boring. I actually think that you guys did like an amazing job. And what I always am so happy about is that, you know, you guys do like the entire package, right? Like your documentation is in order. You have like tutorials. You have your stuff. You know, it all just works. Maybe this is interesting to know for developers and people who want to play around with it. If they want to have some support or they have some questions for you, can they find you somewhere?
Yes, so I'm usually on Discord on the Develop on Swarm channel. It is about like developing applications on top of Swarm, and I'm happy to answer all kinds of questions. Also, not only about like the projects that we support, but also I would like to hear about projects that people come up with and have them realize it, or at least give advice and brainstorm together.
Yes, it's always fun if you do something with Swarm or with like BJS. Definitely come and tell us, because it's just a lot of fun for the team to see that, you know, that this stuff is being used. Attila, thank you so much for your presentation, and I'll be seeing you like later, I hope.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So now we have a very, I think, I would call this a reality check. So we're going to Chert, and Chert is going to take us through, you know, telling the story of our ecosystem, because, you know, we have a brilliant ecosystem. Chert is basically, can I say, leading this effort, Chert?
Yes, I'm trying to make this thing happen. So coordinating stuff and so on.
And you're doing an amazing job. So I'll just, you know, hand it over to you. You have like a big segment in the program, so just go ahead and kick it off. Thanks, Chert.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. So hello, my name is Chert. I will now talk a bit about the ecosystem. So we know that Swarm does not exist by itself, but it needs to fulfill the needs of its users and the ecosystem of apps using it. Therefore, initiatives are in motion to help the ecosystem adopt Swarm as easily as possible and to bootstrap a paradigm shift in how to handle data. Fair data society principles play a central role in these efforts, as ethical guidelines are necessary to adopt from the very start, we believe. Data is of different kinds and can be very sensitive in nature, especially when talking about personal data. However, the siloing of data must stop. Personal data should be under the control of individuals. And we believe that data sovereignty is one of the key features that following the principles should enable. The other important aspect is interoperability. To make silos obsolete, data must be able to flow between apps, making switching apps seamless for the user. This is made easier with decentralized storage, although it is just the first of many steps on a long road. The ecosystem part will try to demonstrate the efforts done in regard to data sovereignty and interoperability, and a lot of efforts are done under the umbrella of the Fair Data Society using its developed toolset. The focus of current efforts is on providing public data sets of interest until the tools we use have proven hardened enough to use on more sensitive data. We'll also highlight a couple of projects using Swarm for storage, and we aim to motivate further ideas for development of the ecosystem in the community. So the first thing we'll tackle will be a little bit of a chat on data interoperability and data sovereignty. So I would invite Antonio now to join, and Gregory if he's available. Hi, Antonio.
Hello.
Glad to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So I will ask you a couple of questions and you give inspiring answers as you always do, Antonio. So yeah.
Not my day, but just go ahead, please.
Yeah. So there are many problems to solve to bring the technologies of the Web3 age to become mainstream. But today we put forward topics of data sovereignty and interoperability. So how do you perceive the problem of data sovereignty? The data today is being siloed. How deep is this problem? Is it worth solving?
Well, first of all, I think that the problem with data today is the incentives that we have to gather that. We have multiple private companies that we all know trying to know the size of our underwear in order to sell more products. And this is a very twisted way to get the data, to gather that information from us. And a way to twist it, it's possible, but it requires to get away from this siloed ecosystem that only benefits the owner and the creator of the silo. And a good example for this, I would say, it's the promise that a data marketplace could benefit all the participants in the marketplace, not only the users or for instance, the advertisers, if we want to keep on with the advertising thing, the advertisers, but also the marketplace. And for instance, if I own my data of the purchases that I make, and that's a no-brainer. I do own it. It's period. It's my data. If I own it and I actually put it into a marketplace with permission data, somebody else can run analytics on top of that and create some elasticity curves to match demand or to match switching. And if I buy, for instance, a pair of Nike Air shoes, Air Max, maybe they can find out that after 6 months after, I'm eager to switch to Adidas. And if that's the case, in a public set of data, they can actually give the Adidas for free because I'm going to be a recurrent customer. And that's a win-win for everybody. That's a win-win for Adidas that actually sold me a couple of pair of sneakers. It's a win-win for me that I actually got some sneakers at a discounted price or a very low price. And that's a win-win for the marketplace. Can tag on top of that. And that changed completely the picture that we're in. It's not about pushing ads to you, which is actually the Web 2.0 main incentives, but it's a different way. But the only way to do that is to create that bridges between different data. And the only way to do it is to have the users, the real data generators, become the sovereigns of their information.
Thank you, Antonio. So that's very deep. And so actually, the next question is about a topic that you sort of tackled at your the last time we had an event. So you talked a lot about interoperability, and it is a large and complex problem. Many standards exist. In theory, we should already have interoperability. So do you think it's more of a technical problem or more of a social problem to tackle? What is the best way to approach it?
I would say it's a social problem, but it's complicated. It's complicated because people are using a lot of tools, but it's a kind of we need to start thinking how to share, how our data is going to be created, and therefore how are we going to be able to share it. It's not only we are used to just don't care about that, and it's a pity because there's a lot of value in the data that we actually manage. So this we create. So I would say it's a kind of both. Not only it's around creating standards. Well, there's a big old joke from XKCD that I'm not gonna go for that. But creating a standard is a very complicated thing. But what could happen is that if we are actually understand the value of owning our own data, and that needs to happen with the different tools, and that I hope that we can give a little hint of them today.
So actually, we think that data sovereignty and interoperability are connected, with sovereignty being somewhat dependent on interoperability, of course. But how do you think that fair data principles come into play here? So they're not defining any standard. Are they? Yeah, they're maybe helpful in this respect anyway.
Well, that's a complex question. I would say because it goes back to ethics and to morals and what do you think of the data that should be shared or should not. But this is why since it's difficult to create a standard, the way to do it is to create going higher up in the values of the chain. So this is where we go from the actual code, the standard, to a higher level, which is the values behind what is going to be shared, what should be shared, and what should not.
Okay, Antonio. So let's move on to usage of Swarm. So let's say that you were talking to a startup, maybe developing dApps. So how would you explain Swarm? Why should they use it?
Well, it's really fun. It's really fun for any startup to use it, because you know, as a startup guy, I kind of myself created a couple of ventures, and they went, well, different outcomes, I would say. But the idea is that you always face this problem of how to deal with the data, you know, because you have logins, you have a lot of people going into your thing, and you have to store that, and you have to comply with regulations, and this is always a pain. It's a big pain, and especially where it depends on where you live. But there are different places in the world, and of course, it's not the same in every place. But still, it's a pain everywhere. You have to store that. You have to take it into account that thing very, very well. And the good thing about giving back the data to the people is that to the actual creators is that you don't have to keep that record, because you don't know who's going in. You don't know who's the user. You just provide the tool. You just provide the service. But the user comes, he does his thing. You get paid for that, and then he goes away. And this is a very, very powerful thing, and I think that it can solve a lot of the problems, and it actually breaks the incentives problems that we were talking about 5 minutes ago, about how the Web 2.0 is twisted, and it can evolve into this new, more civilized web.
So maybe the same thing. How would you explain what to do with Swarm to a CTO of a large company?
What do you mean?
Well, now we don't have startups, but we have an established company. So
several things. I would say that the way to do it is that the way to pitch it to a corporation would be to actually give back the promise that was there, that giving back the data to the users. This is something that the corporations have done a lot. They brag about, yeah, we are respecting the privacy. Okay, there you go. Here's your shot. Do it. Let's see.
Okay, and I think that this is an opportunity for actually to bring together, so unsilo the data and bring data closer to the whole ecosystem of players, like large and small companies. I think this is one major advantage of this kind of storage.
For sure.
So Antonio, thank you. I will ask you to stay online for comments, so helping me sort of push this track through, this session. Yes, now we move on to a demo from a project called Vision. And as they have put it, Swarm has helped them to offer patients level of services they couldn't get otherwise. Vision has been using Swarm for quite some time now, and has already been featured at the Swarm Alpha event. So let's see what has happened since in a demonstration that we can now play, please.
Hello, I'm Nicolas from Vision. We built a decentralized teleradiology platform using Swarm and Guest to provide better access to medical expertise in France and worldwide. I will first present you what we do with Swarm, and then show you a demo of our application. First, what is a teleradiology platform and what do we do? Our job is to connect health actors, ensuring security, integrity, and confidentiality of the data. We link health center, AI providers, and radiologists to get the best from the human and the machine in order to deliver a medical report to the patient. Our standard workflow is: a patient goes to the center to get an exam. After getting consent, we retrieve their data, anonymize it, and distribute it to specialized AI. Depending on the exam, we call different AIs. Then, we provide the radiologist the result of the AI and the medical data so he can write his own report. Finally, we integrate the radiologist's report in the health facility center system. Our challenges are that we have to integrate with very heterogeneous ecosystem with sometimes very legacy technologies. Machines are on different private networks and actors are geographically decentralized. We started to build the platform in mid-2019 and launched it in production in end 2019 with the pre-beta Swarm version. We are using Swarm and Guest as our core stack for now 3 years and participated at each launch event. Here is some figure on how much we use the platform. So we have treated 17,000 plus patients since the last Swarm beta launch event in February. We plugged in 12 different facilities and 2 hospitals that use our system for fast COVID triage using AI-only workflow. We integrated 4 different types of health systems for automating processes. Finally, a quick example of why using distributed systems like Swarm is essential when managing important data. In March 2021, one of the data centers of OVH caught fire, causing millions of websites to go down, losing data and backup forever. Many people thought it would be impossible, but it happened. We lost half of our machines in OVH in this event, but not only our service has been merely impacted, we haven't lost any data, no medical data were lost during this event. Now, let's start the demo. Here is our main application. We have a radiologist on the left side and the health center on the right side. Everything is recorded simultaneously and the applications are on 2 different machines to mimic the production environment. First, the health center creates the patient and then will add all the necessary medical data. We try to automatize this step as much as possible by being plugged on their system. Usually, the patient is already created with its image and the user just have to add the missing details. The main time bottleneck is because of the blockchain, as we have a 2-second block time. So we have to find tricks to hide it from the user experience, like unlocking the next action, batching, and so on. Then the health center will send the data to the radiologist. The patient appears now on the radiologist's work list. He then can go on by downloading the images of the patient, reading the prescription, the result of the AI, and analyzing the images. Then he will write its report. The radiologist still have to download the images as he will need to process them inside its own software to add many features by, for example, changing contrast, zooming, and handling all this medical data. Finally, he will send the report to the center. While the patient is being sent, the radiologist can go on to the next patient to avoid the time waiting for the transaction to be included in the chain. The report is then received by the health center and will be integrated in their system. Thanks for watching.
So thank you, Nicolas and Pierre, for this inspiring presentation. I think that when real life cases like these are presented, it really shows the power and potential of the technology. So maybe you could just tune in for a minute. Hi, hello.
Sure. Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
Hello. So nice to see you. So what are your plans for the future, and where can people get to know more about your project?
So about our project, we have obviously our website vision.ai. We have some LinkedIn, but for now, our project is to continue to use more Swarm using the latest version and implementing more processes inside the Swarm environment. For example, at the last event, the Swarm beta, we were talking about using satellite connection and integrated DICOM viewer. So we managed to use the satellite connection to connect our centers that are in France and sometimes at very, very low bandwidth, which is a very big problem for teleradiology because we are managing big files. And so one of the next project will be, for example, to have an integrated viewer. So the radiologist will be able to see the images inside his own environment, his own work list. And we are now working on some way to better implement the result of the AI to really create a pre-report for the radiologist, so the radiologist can really focus on just confirming what the AI said and add his own expertise as well. So and on so everything will be sure on Swarm to handle all the logics, and maybe we'll add handling more data than just the S data, but maybe all data around to offer a better experience to the radiologist, connect to outer world and other processes, other actors, and as well as the health center to manage their environment. But you have to
yes, we because of Swarm, we have been able to deliver an incredible value to our patients, and since the beginning, we are close to many gigabytes, maybe terabyte of medical data shared with Swarm, and delivering value into care of patients. Right now, we have some very interesting nodes with very high latency or with Starlink connected in the mountains. And all of this use the same system, the Swarm system. So we'll continue to use it and develop it. And we have to connect with a huge ecosystem on the main network now that it's live. So let's continue together.
And actually, a few months ago, we made an experiment with a practitioner on the other side of the world in Haiti.
In Tahiti, in Polynesia, we have a node running there also in the data center, also in Hawaii, to deliver good data throughput for the radiologists that are doing some Nighthawk in the other part of the world. So it scales very well.
Thank you. That is very nice to hear. So we have to stress, right, that you have your own Swarm subnetwork. So you're not working currently on the mainnet, but you have it. I think that it proves the technology, what the technology is capable of, nevertheless, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Fair Data Society, besides guidance on principles, also provides tooling to facilitate a transition to a fairer data society. And Swarm has supported development of a storage layer on top of Swarm that provides additional features. The state of development should be considered experimental, but the aim is to provide a sandbox for discovering what features and functionalities are needed in the future and get a head start on the emerging fair data economy. Then the tooling includes FairOS DFS, a distributed file system on top of Swarm. And so FairOS DFS connects to a B node, but exposes its own API, allowing to work with files, key value stores, and a document store. These features should allow for experimenting with a lot of use cases and testing out ideas. The following demo will demonstrate how two users of FairOS on different computers can work with the same data, showing Swarm as the underlying storage, using Swarm as the underlying storage on the case of a key value store. So please, if we can play the demo.
Welcome to a short demo of a key value store over Swarm. This is the diagram of the setup. We have two B here, which are connected together inside here. And there is one FairOS DFS connected to the first B, second FairOS DFS connected to the second B. And since these FairOS DFS expose an HTTP server, I have two different HTTP clients which speak with each of them. So the idea is to create something in this client and see that it is visible here, and do something at this client and see that it is visible here. Since all the data is stored in the decentralized fashion in the B, the data should be updated and visible in both the places. Let's go into the demo. So the top three terminals represent the three things that I explained in the top. The bottom three terminals explains the bottom three things. So let us start B first. The first B and the second B, they should just join together and form a network. Let's give some few seconds. Yes, they have. And let's go to the FairOS DFS. This is connecting to the 8080, which is the first B. This is connecting to the second B, which is 8081. This is the second B. Remember that the first FairOS DFS is listening on port 9090. The second one is listening on port 9091 for the clients. So let's start the client in 1990. Let's start another client in 1991, so that these are two different stuff. Now, I have a user here already and exported the user. The user is called user1. Let's log into the user. It has a pod called pod1. Let's open the pod. Pod1. Let's do the same here. User login user1. Let's open the pod. Yeah, it is opened. Now let's do something. So all the key value store starts with the kiwi command. Kiwi ls. There is no key value store right now. Kiwi new. Table 1, let's create a table. So let's see that the table is here, and let's see if the table is here. Yes, it is reflected here also. So let's open the table 1, and let's insert some data inside this. Put, I use put get like commands to insert and get out of the KV table. You can see the help to see more commands. KV put in table 1. This is the key 1 and this is the value. Let's add few more key values to key 2 and value 2, key 3 and value 3. Right? Now let's see if the same is visible here. Let's open the table 1. Let's get table 1 key 1. Let's see. Oh, okay, it's giving the value 1. Key 3, value 3. Let's update the value of key 3 in updated value 3. Right? So let's see if we get kv get table 1. Let's see whether it shows the updated value. Yes. Thank you for the demo.
So that was a demo of FairOS, and actually it was a nice segue into the next demo that we will go into. And as I mentioned, the key value store is what this next demo will use. and it will show a front end that displays maps on user screens. Maps are stored in FairOS as the backend. So I would ask the video to play. So please know that my narrative might not be completely in sync with the video. So the maps used here are from OpenStreetMaps, so the actual data. The application is called FairMaps, and the user logs in with their credentials. And note that these are the same as it will later shown or used in the FairDrive demos. And the default map of the world loads. When a certain zoom level is reached, the roads, lakes, and other features become visible. You will notice that a couple of maps are already available, but most of the world is actually blank, so no data is available. Basic features of the map are available, like zooming in and zooming out, depending on which country's maps are available. More detailed map content can be shown, but this is not the main point of the demo. So the maps that are shown are loaded from FairOS DFS key value store, which is underneath using Swarm storage. So the location of any pins you put on the map gets saved into FairOS to be used later and perhaps in another application given access to the data. Adding pins and saving the data to FairOS is just a basic use case demonstrating the idea of a common storage accessible to many applications. Imagine any kind of user data that you would like to share with others, like running tracks, trips you took, photos you took at locations, etc. So how can you spin up your own instance of FairMaps? The instructions can be found on the GitHub page. Let me touch upon the idea that we're getting on with this demo. It is about public data sets that can be contributed by a community. This particular use case, the idea is that anyone can create their own maps and contribute them. And the instructions are also on GitHub. In a nutshell, you must spin up your own bnode, followed by starting a FairOS server. And you then have to prepare the maps in a proper format. A script is available to download the map tiles for a specific region in the GeoJSON format, and another script can be used to convert the files into CSV format. An example in the video shows downloading tiles for a region around Ljubljana. FairOS DFS command line instance should be started. New user is created, followed by creating a pod. A pod is a kind of a logical drive that can contain folders and files. Also, can be a key value store. And the pod is opened. The pod is opened, and a new key value store is created and then opened. And in the next steps, a CSV file with map data is loaded into a key value store. So the data is sent via FairOS into Swarm. So the terminal window showing the activity shows a lot of traffic. And after it finishes, the pod with the map data is available to the user, but we additionally want to share it with the world, making it public. So after issuing the sharing command, a pod sharing reference is returned. And by using this reference, a pod could be mounted by other users and used for the maps. So, but as users will not want to add individual maps to the app, the idea of a map registry comes into play. A map registry is just another FairOS public pod that contains links to other public pods that in turn contain specific maps. So if you're a registry pod maintainer, you can add maps to it, even maps that others contribute. In the demo, we show adding a newly created map of Slovenia. And later on, this map will be available in the user interface of FairMaps to be used by the users. So the demo actually showcases a straightforward scenario where an app can use publicly available registries and maps as data to display. But the example can be generalized to other kinds of data and apps. So actually what we want to achieve with this demo also is to give you a call to action. So maintaining public data sets should be a community effort. And we ask you to join the experiment and perhaps to become a country maintainer by providing maps in a shared pod. So please follow the Swarm newsletter and blogs to stay tuned and up to date on this idea. So this is this was about fair maps. But next up, so I'm glad again to invite Antonio to the stage, who will talk about a variant of, hello Antonio, of FairDrop file exchange application. So please, Antonio.
Thank you, Chert. Okay, so the idea that we got is, right, we have Swarm already. So what would be the basic, the minimum usage that we could put on top of, we can build on top of Swarm to make it easier for the user so that everybody can actually use it. Well, the easier, it would be, of course, to upload a file and download a file. And that's a very trivial use case. So let me go to this. So we created FairDrop, which is this. FairDrop is an application. It's running on top of Swarm. So it's, as I said, it's a federated on top of Swarm. And the idea would be to decentralize a file. So anybody who wants to comes to this page will be able to decentralize a file. By that, it means that the file will be split, will be into the different nodes. It will arrive to the different people who will host pieces of that file, but only the owner, the guys who holds the address can retrieve the file. So the idea is quite simple. It's basically you just drag and drop a file. However, this service will be available very soon, and only for the guys, for you who have registered already to opt in to receive products and to test drive some products that we're going to run. So whenever you have this page available, you will be able to put in here your MetaMask, whitelisted MetaMask, or your ENS name, and you will be able to drag and drop a file. Easy as that. And this is a key thing that we are including, which is the ability to encrypt the file. When I say encrypt, of course the file is going to be encrypted in the cloud or in the different nodes, but the ability to encrypt the file locally so that only another Ethereum address, another public key, another ENS can decrypt the file. So you're sending a file only to an address, just to an address. He's the only one who can retrieve and decrypt the file. Once you upload that file, well, actually, it goes back to the Swarm network and it starts doing its magic, which is basically splitting the file. As you know, the chunk is the smallest unity of information that travels across the network. It's going to be split into chunks, generating manifest, stamping the chunks so that it can be persistent on the network. And once it's done, the file is uploaded. You will have a link, and you'll have a balance. As I said, this is only for the test drives, for the people who opt in to receive our products and services. And well, there's some information on top of the file, and of course, you can add persistence to the file in case you will need to have it for more time. And that's basically it. That's the idea. But this is just one file. What happens if you want to upload more files? And this is where FairDrive, another product, comes into place. So now back to Chert.
Thank you, Antonio. That was a nice. That was a nice segue into the next presentation, the next section. So we will continue with the first Swarm Fellowship. Fellowships are a form of long-term collaboration between Swarm and external teams on public good solutions and protocols which contribute to the common and shared architecture. So the first Swarm Fellowship is related to data interoperability and sovereignty. It revolves around FairDrive, which allows for easier access to decentralized data storage for individuals, as well as applications using that storage through FairDrive protocol. So currently its underlying storage is based on FairOS DFS, which uses Swarm, as mentioned. The grander vision is that other storages that allow for sovereignty and interoperability could be mounted and used with the same front end for the user and the same API for developers, facilitating interoperability and easy switching between storage providers. So I will give the word to Devon from Linum Labs, the fellowship recipient, who will present FairDrive together with her colleagues. So please, Devon, if you could tune in. Do we have Devon ready? Michelle, maybe are you online? Can you?
Hey there.
Yes. Sorry, just checking. Yeah, I saw you. Didn't know if my connection was actually working. So thank you for confirming.
Working, and I'm actually quite excited about all the things we are seeing. So, do you still need me, or is?
Sorry, you were just. Yeah, you just. We complement each other, so I ask you to check for the connection. Yeah, so I guess we're okay. Thank you. And yeah, I seen Michal pop up for a while, so I was worried that maybe I got disconnected, but yeah, we're all here. I guess Michal, would you start the presentation?
And Devin's here as well now, actually.
Hi,
okay. Sorry about that.
Okay, so hi, Devon.
Hi, Kurt. Yeah, so sorry about that. I was having a little bit.
Yeah, no problem. We all have connection issues. So yes, please, Devon, go on.
For the introduction, yeah, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Devon, and I'm part of the team at Linum Labs. And have my team do the demo of what we've been working on over the past few months with the Swarm team. And before I hand over to Michal from my team, who will be giving you an intro to FairDrive, and Mustafa, who will be doing a live demo for you, I wanted to add on to Trent's announcement of the Swarm Fellowship, just by saying that Linum Labs is the first recipient of the Swarm Fellowship, and to us, it's quite an awesome opportunity for us. It's quite an awesome opportunity for us, which we were presented with, to become a part of the larger ever-growing community for Swarm. For us, the Swarm Fellowship is also indicative of a longer-term relationship between our team and Swarm as we continue to build and iterate on FairDrive, supporting many dApps, and some of which will also be demoed today. We'd like to also just reiterate that FairDrive for us is a community-driven initiative supported by the Fair Data Society ecosystem. And with FairDrive, we hope to welcome developers to turn their ideas into dApps on FairDrive, as well as sponsors to join Swarm to create an even broader ecosystem of networks. FairDrive's goal is that of one of empowering its users with the possibilities that come with decentralization and self-sovereign storage for individuals and service developers. The community has also then encouraged, we encourage developers to discuss and iterate on each other's projects, becoming a true community project in the context of Fair Data. With FairDrive, we take into action with our team our belief of user empowerment, allowing users to own their own data, and our commitment to the Fair Data Society ecosystem. So we're really looking forward to seeing where we'll go to from here, and we hope to hear from any developers or projects that are looking to build with Swarm and integrate with FairDrive. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and I'm happy to hand over to Michal now.
Hi there, yes. I'm just going to be sharing my screen. So yes, hi there. Yes, yeah, I'm Michal. I'm one of the team members from Linum Labs. I've been working with Mustafa, who will take you through a live demo just in a few minutes' time. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to explain what we've been doing with FairDrive and what we think it is. Yeah, so basically, what is FairDrive? FairDrive is a community-driven initiative with a mission to empower data freedom. We do think of this as a universal data organizational interface built on top of decentralized storage. It will allow users to fully reclaim their privacy, own their data, and manage their digital identity. So how does it work? It consists of a typical Drive interface with files and folders paired with BZ Wallet to manage token balances and key pairs. And under the hood, the first of many file systems, FairOS, is running on top of Ethereum Swarm using the FairDrive protocol to communicate and connect user content. How it is designed. This first version of the FairDrive sandbox is designed to inspire developers and enable them to play with the possibilities of this universal data organizational interface and see how their own projects can be integrated. So therefore, it is a neutral palette and has a very open basic functionality to form a strong foundation on which to build upon. We also have the design file as a web-based open collaborative file for everyone to view and see. So, demonstrating the utility of decentralized self-sovereign storage, FairDrive can serve as this front end and protocol for individuals and service developers who share the Fair Data Society principles of data privacy to transform the practicality of Web 2 to Web 3. So these principles include data sovereignty, complete decentralization, basis of consent, fair data, and striving for a fair data economy, and of course, open source and interoperability of the entire ecosystem. We feel this is the best use case of FairDrive right now. And so, yes, in this demo, we'll go through some of these basic features we've been building, uploading, downloading, creating, that can show how developers can handle content, not only in the FairDrive UI, but also on any future apps built in and around FairDrive protocol. So here is a first glimpse of how your data and content can be on Swarm, yet also shared to FairDrive. So yeah, with this, I'll give it over to Mustafa.
Mustafa, you need to.
Yeah, thank you. I always forget to unmute for some reason. Anyways, I'm Mustafa and I'm part of Linum Labs, and we helped develop the FairDrive protocol, FairDrive, and a couple of apps that are going to be shown as proof of concept of data interoperability. So they mentioned FairDrive protocol a couple of times. I won't go into details about FairOS. FairDrive is a collection where a user can see all of his data, but the most important thing here is the FairDrive protocol. The FairDrive protocol is a React app that has export built for communicating with FairOS, so other developers can easily integrate the FairOS and store all their data on, for now it's Swarm, but in future it will be some other next steps compliance server. And the FairDrive protocol is exporting all of the components for easy injectable apps and to use by other developers. But let's see how that works. For example, this is a component that's used to log in on the FairOS, and we will receive the cookie and stored and authorize this app that is Markdown editor. That is Markdown editor, and it will be used to save some data text. Let's try to authorize. Okay, so what I have now is I'm going to try to load all of my files that is currently on my FairDrive account. For example, this is my first text, and it says it's my first text. Okay, but today the date is 21st June 2021 and 16:21. Let's try to save it. Demo grade 1. Let's try to save that file. Okay, it says it's saved, but let's check that one out. Okay, but let's check the changes. Okay, if I switch to grade launch, it's saying that it has read the file. So in this proof of concept Markdown editor, we showed the data flow that we created a file, uploaded to the B client, and show the file that's being loaded. The other app that I'm going to show you is something like photo album that's also using FairDrive protocol, and it's built on FairOS and B clients. Just a second, let me just load the app for a second. Okay, so as you see the similarity, we're already injecting the login component from FairDrive protocol. I will, after all the demos, I will lead you to where to find the FairDrive protocol itself. Our user is Mark85 and password is password. Let's authorize this. As you can see on the side, it's loading the pods that Chert mentioned that exist on FairOS. So let's try to open the FairDrive pod and wait for a second. So this pod has 7 pictures on it. So it's representable pictures that are stored in my file, but let's try to upload one other picture. It's this, and it says it's uploaded. So, but how can I be sure that it's uploaded? Let's now go to the end. It's FairDrive itself. As Antonio mentioned already and gave awesome introduction to the FairDrive itself, the FairDrive app is showing user all of his data that's being flown through the B clients and SEPs compliant servers and FairOS. Let's try to log in. Okay, so for now, as you can see, it's has couple overview landing page, overview homepage that's still being developed. It's in sandbox mode, and you can contribute by visiting the GitHub repository and create issues or pull down the repository and start building features by yourself. So if I switch to my drive and to my private pods and open my pod called FairDrive, I should see all of my files. Let's switch this view and I should see pictures that if I open Boba Fett, I should see Boba Fett. If I open Captain Phasma, I should see that. And this is the file that I uploaded recently. But to see it's really the truth of data interoperability is this file, Demo the Great One. And if I download it, let's see. We should have say, just a second. Okay. Just a sec. I'm trying to switch. It's this. I need to close this, switch this. As you can see, today is the 21st June, 1621. This is the proof of concept of data interoperability through FairDrive protocol using FairOS and showing the data on FairDrive as a collection of users' data and 2 applications that are built on top of FairDrive protocol itself. If you want to test it, it's already there and it's deployed on app.fairdatasociety.org. But if you, as we see the Fair Data Society as a community-driven organization, our idea is to have community improvement protocol where community decides what features are going to be updated, uploaded, and implemented on FairDrive itself or FairDrive protocol or some other dApps that users and community wants to use. So if you are eager to play with it, the app, it's called FairDrive the app. All of these links can be found later on our landing page that is going to be online in a couple of days. In README file, you will see what is FairDrive protocol, how does the FairDrive work, how to run it locally, and how to run it locally with FairOS and B clients if you have it. And that's it from me. So thank you for your attention, and I hope that this demo was fun for you to watch as was fun for me to implement it.
Thank you, Mustafa. That was a great demo, and it's easy to enjoy doing this. I mean, the demo and the app. So we're calling FairDrive the sandbox for fair data economy, as we see it could be used to try out new use cases fitting for the upcoming data economy, of course, done following fair data principles. And now we move on to the section of demos from the ecosystem. So in this part, we feature some projects that are building on Swarm to see the applicability and the use cases that are being pursued and also jog the imagination. So the first one is meme generator. It is a very fun and playful implementation of users generating memes that could be stored on FairDrive for convenience of access. So the FairDrive that Mustafa has just demoed. with larger ambitions of becoming a feature-rich entertainment platform. So if we can run the video, please.
Hello, my name is Ihar. I am a member of the Swarm Grant program. My project is a meme generator. I think memes are very important. They raise the mood and raise the problem of society. Memes make a lot of money, for example, Dogecoin. Login into the application. For this I used the login component from 5Drive protocol. We get to the page with templates for memes. There are many templates in my application for every taste. So, page my uploads. This page displayed all the memes that the user has created. These memes which I created. Meme download from Swarm and displayed. So, let's try to create a new meme. I can choose a suitable template and create meme. So, example. Upload to Swarm. Go to page my uploads. Oh, 3 memes, and we see that our created memes has appeared. So nice. Now we can go to 5Drive app and see that the generate memes is also displayed. Go 5Drive app, login, meme test. Login. So these 3 memes which I created. Oh, this meme which created now. Fine. In the future, I plan to develop this project into a full-fledged entertainment platform. I want to add a lot of new features for created memes. User will not only be able to create memes, but also view other people's memes, share and donate to the best authors. Thanks for attention. Good luck.
So these kind of fun projects are really a breeze of fresh air and a wonderful opportunity to bring adoption of users. So Antonio, can you join quickly? So you're big on memes. So what do you think? I bet your fingers are itching to use the app.
Actually, I still feel a bit worried since Reddit banned me a couple of times. I'm not going to say why, but yeah, this is something that I clearly could use.
Thank you. So moving on, let's look at another playful yet very useful Pastebin app from Pete that mimics the Pastebin application of Web 2. So if you can join us, Pete.
Hey guys.
Oh, hi, Pete.
Let me just share my screen. There you go. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's obviously not the right thing. It's the right thing. So this is Pastebin, which I think quite a lot of you might have already seen. This is the first in the kind of series of kind of simple, useful, user-first applications that we're building on the Swarm infrastructure. So Pastebin is a sort of a clone of Pastebin, which some of you might have used. It's like the simplest way of of sharing content online, and in the Swarm infrastructure, it's unstoppable. It's a way of publishing content online. So this is sort of version 1 that you're looking at the moment. I'll play the video and talk you through what's happening. So the idea is that you can simply input text. It's designed so the UI allows you to be able to input long and short form text. Once you're ready to share, click on the paste button. That provides you with a unique URL with a hash, which you can share with anyone that you want to. Anyone can kind of edit that at any time, re-upload to Swarm and share again. So there you go, that's all of that happening. You can see the changes. The Pastebee is fully responsive, so it works well on mobile, looks great on tablet as well, which is all very lovely. Yes, as you can see, it's very sort of simple. If you want more information, there's a About Us page. Click on the question mark at the top. In terms of our sort of plans for the future with this at the moment, so we're in development on version 2. Version 2 will bring quite a few feature enhancements, things like code highlighting and text formatting, stuff like that, as well as obviously a better implementation with B version 1. In terms of like further into the future, we're looking at the possibility of getting document versioning in here, as well as a bunch of other bits and bobs. So that's Pastebee. Yeah.
Thank you, Pete, for this presentation. So I'm not a developer myself, but when I do some like something with code or anything, I know that Pastebee is very, very useful, well, for reporting errors, for example, and having it on Swarm is really a good step forward, and with all the upgrades that you're planning. So thank you, Pete.
Thank you.
And next up, so the Dapplets project. Dapplets aims to embed its Dapplets into web pages and offer additional information via this by injecting its content into the web page content. So the underlying storage for presented use case is Swarm, and we have a recorded video that we could please play now.
Hello everyone, my name is Dmitry Palchuk. I'm the founder of Project Dapplets, and we are building the web of unstoppable augmentations. What is the augmented web, and what do we do there? Dapplets is a platform that allows you to create applications, and these applications insert widgets like badges or buttons into third-party websites without asking owner of that website for cooperation. Let's see 2 examples. The first example is a fake news stamp. It allows community to place a stamp on the top of the tweet or start the workflow to manage this stamp. In the second example, you can see the My Nifty collection Dapplet, and it allows a user to show his NFT collection and embed it into his profile or place it on the top of the avatar or place in the betting group, like 3 or 4. All in all, Dapplets allows you to place own workflows on the top of existing websites and communities. But why do we need augmented web? Because the web is broken currently. It was designed as the web of owned websites, but it used as the web of user content aggregated by others. Just a small example, the HTTP code redirect 301 and 302 makes sense for the whole website twitter.com, but it makes no sense for a single tweet. Aggregators are controlling the other people's data, and as a consequence, we have deplatforming and censorship and other kinds of power misuse by aggregators. Why do we need Swarm? Because if you would like to fix the web, we need a decentralized system that can handle the pressure of the might media giants. Dapplet platform is the one. It is fully decentralized, and that's why Applets platform needs Swarm to store augmenting apps, applets, and user settings. If two examples wasn't too exciting to you, I just show you the third one that we have implemented. It's a YouTube downloader, and YouTube downloader allows you to upload video into the Swarm and to make it available to the public. After the video becomes available, it can't be deleted anymore. And in order to make it available, we can just insert search results from Swarm into the search results of YouTube, like here. The first example here, the first search result with a Swarm icon is from Applet, not from YouTube. And if we click on it, we go to the Swarm. The YouTube downloader consists essentially of two parts. The first part is content processing, and the second part is content promotion or the content propagation. And we can improve both of these parts. For content processing, we will add more stickers and checks and essentially make a commenting tool. You will be able to place arrows or other widgets and comment this video. We can also improve the content visibility. We will create a general search result injection, which means we will insert the Swarm search results not only into YouTube, but into other websites. It could be Google, it could be Yahoo, it could be essentially any website with a search built in. Last but not least, Applets project is not a single application. It's a platform to easily build apps, augmenting apps, to build the web of unstoppable augmentations. Thank you, and see you at applets.org, and let's build the web of unstoppable augmentations together.
Well, I think this is a very interesting approach that could augment a lot of web pages. But maybe Dimitri, if you are with us, maybe I could ask you a quick question. So this.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hello, hi. So this technology looks like it could be used in connection with many use cases. So what kind of projects could use this? Where do you see the possible collaborations?
As I said, if we have a content stored on Swarm, then we have a possibility to insert links to this content into third-party websites. And essentially, any website with a huge community, like any social network, could be the target. This is my idea. We think betting, sport betting could be the very interesting use case. What could it be?
And search engines in general, right, Dimitri? So you could, like you did in the use case, injecting the results in there. I guess it's a
yes, it's one of the endless possibilities to augment third-party content. Essentially, if we insert results into the Google, we hijack the website. I don't know if it's good or not, whether it's some kind of.
We just need now somebody to crawl the Swarm and index everything, right? And it will inject it.
So yeah, it's not a hijacking, it's probably the wording. But we just we give users much more power than they will be given from the website owner. Essentially, this is.
Thank you, Dimitri, for tuning in and for the presentation. And next up, so a very interesting, well, all of the projects are interesting, but this one goes into some specifics of Swarm. So Waggle project will present an alternative to current ways of communication, which aims to be much more secure and privacy preserving in many ways, as well as more spam resistant. So They are involved with Swarm for a while now and are really knowledgeable. So leveraging the cutting edge features the Swarm has to offer in this respect. So they will first have a presentation of their ideas and then a demo of the application they're working on. So please play the first video.
Thank you for the introduction, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this exclusive preview of Waggle. The Waggle dance is the name of the communication protocol used between honeybees, and we have adopted this name and are currently developing Waggle as a spam-free, privacy-preserving, secure communication protocol on Swarm. So just like the honeybees, we envision that the bee nodes will dance when performing our protocol. Currently, we are only two working on Waggle, and that's me, Racine Nykor, and Rodrigo Saramago, which will show you a demo afterwards. We are both students at the University of Stavanger. So before explaining Waggle, I will briefly talk about some of the problems that exist in existing email services. So the first issue is spam, and of course nobody likes spam, yet it's proven to be a difficult problem to solve over time. In traditional email services, when a sender transmits a message, it will eventually end up in the inbox of the recipient. The inbox is typically hosted by your email provider. Thus, a spammer consumes thousands of gigabytes of storage on the inboxes across the world. To combat this spam, the email providers run advanced spam filters, which require a lot of communication and needs to be constantly updated and fine-tuned, as spammers are constantly evolving and finding ways past this filter. Another issue with traditional email services are limitations on privacy. Many email providers openly admits that the emails are not encrypted and that they have the power to read it. Often they will disguise this by saying that they only scan for spam. Other services like ProtonMail encrypt the email, but they still access some of the metadata when using the spam filter. Even though SMTP is conceptually a decentralized protocol, this only accounts for the outbox. The inbox is centralized by protocols such as IMAP and POP3, which gives the email providers the power to deny any user access to their data. So now you might ask, what about Waggle? In Waggle, we have adopted an old idea called IM2000, where the main idea is shifting the responsibility of storing emails from the receiver to the sender. In Swarm, we implemented this by letting all messages remain in the sender's outbox feed until the recipient is ready to read the messages. This in itself would drastically limit spam, as now a spammer would essentially have to either pay someone to host his messages or he has to run a large server himself. In Waggle, we, however, take this one step further by requiring that the recipient pre-approves any communication. After accepting communication, the recipient establishes a secure end-to-end encrypted communication channel with the sender. We store all messages on the Swarm network. However, as they are encrypted, no unauthorized party can read them. So here's a big picture overview of the Waggle protocol. In the first contact, we send a notification from Alice to Bob, and if Bob accepts, both Alice and Bob will create an outbox, a secure outbox that only the other party can access. To transmit notifications, we use the PSS functionality of Swarm. These notifications contain the necessary information to start setting up secure communication. They are encrypted using the public key of the recipient and encapsulated in a Trojan chunk, which is delivered by the Swarm network to the recipient's B node. By using Trojan chunks, we essentially force the sender to spend some communication in mining the chunk and thus prevent any spam of notification. Upon decrypting a notification, the recipient can choose to either agree or reject the communication entirely. If he accepts, we establish a secure channel between the parties using the swarm feeds functionality. The security of the messages will then rely on the double ratchet algorithm. So here's a more detailed communication flow or sequence flow of the notification protocol. After Alice retrieves Bob's contact information from a public source such as Keybase, or she can get it offline directly from Bob. She then notifies Bob using PSS, and Bob chooses what he wants to do with this notification. If Bob accepts, he adds Alice to his address book, and then he agrees with Alice to create an outbox feed. In this outbox feed, he acknowledges to Alice that everything is set up on his side, and when Alice receives this notification, she agrees with Bob to set up her outbox. After this, they have essentially established a secure communication channel between them. So when either of them now wants to send emails to each other, they can simply write the content and then they encrypt it using the keys that they agreed upon previously. And whenever Bob is connected to the Swarm network and he is ready to read the messages from Alice, his Waggle client will pull the feed updates from Alice's outbox, and then he decrypts the content. And then as Alice will know that Bob have received the email, she will delete it, and Bob must then choose if he wants to make a backup. So he can either make a backup on Swarm or offline, or he can of course choose to discard it entirely. So I think that was enough talk, and now I will send you to Rodrigo, which will show you a demo of our prototype.
Right, so to start to use Wago, the first thing is to log in, and we use MetaMask, so you need to log in your MetaMask account here. And here I will log in with 2 users, so I will log in here with Bob. And this one here, I will log in with the other user. That is Alice. Right, so Alice does not have Bob as a contact, so she needs to add his contact card. To do that, she goes to some social network, or she should receive this contact card from Bob or get it from any social network. So here, for example, Bob hosted his contact card on Keybase, and Alice can go there and download this information that will be necessary to establish the secure communication. So Alice download here the file. And after download, she goes to the contacts and click here to upload a contact based on the file. This is the Bob contact card information that is also here, right? So she can give a nickname for him, for example, like something like that, and add his contact. Yeah. So now Alice can send a notification to Bob to attempt to start the first contact with Bob. So, accept my contact, please, for example. And then she sends a notification. When she sends a notification, the notification is mine, and Bob received based on the overlay address of his node. So this will be, the chunk will be mine, and eventually arrive here a notification for Bob. Then Bob can accept or deny this contact, and if he accepted, this will automatically add Alice in his contacts and will also send a notification back to Alice, telling that Bob accepted her. And this information here is also based on the contact card of Alice that they exchange using PXS. And now Bob and Alice can secure exchange emails using the feeds. To do that, for example, Alice can just go here and compose and send a message like, hello, Bob. See you here. And then she can send a message here. And this message will create a feed of which Bob is listening to. And then when the messages arrive to the node, Bob can retrieve and read the Alice's message. And Bob can do the same now because he will have the contact. And yeah. For example, and then eventually the message arrived for Alice. Sometimes took a bit until the yes, and so yeah, so this is basically the demo. If you want to know more about, we will publish a demo publicly, so you can interact with Algo and use yourself and try yourself. If you are interested more in the project, you can reach us on GitHub or also by our current emails or even using Wago. This is our contact card, so you can send notifications and messages to us using this information. Yeah, so thank you very much for listening. Any questions?
Actually, I would have some questions. So, Rodrigo and Orsini, if you could tune in, if you are with us.
Yes.
Hi, hello. Yes, you challenged me, so hello. So I think this really shows great potential as a replacement for currently mainstream technologies, and we are really looking forward to seeing how this project evolves. But I guess the whole communication stack, so to say, could be replaced. But maybe, so could you share your future plans and what is yet to come?
Yes, of course. Well, actually, we would like to establish Wago as a library for secure messaging communication in peer-to-peer networks. So this is our goal, to make it as an open source library. And we want to improve the app to represent the same user experience that you can get from the mainstream emails. And also allow people to install plugins and stuff to, start to use Wago without too much dependence of the running a node, and eventually ease the migration to people from the mainstreams emails to Wago. So this is our goal.
Yeah, user experience is a big issue with current dApps, so to say. So looking forward to this. Thank you, Rodrigo and Racine.
Thank you.
And we move on to the next project. So Etherna has an ambition very fitting for the Swarm ecosystem. So imagine your videos would no longer be hosted at one of the large video platforms, but instead by your peers on the Swarm network. And you could look at them without being bothered with advertisements and so on. So the next demo will show a glimpse of this possibility, and also how you could connect your videos in FairDrive with the video player they developed. So please, the video.
Hello, I'm Mirko Da Corte from Etherna. We are building an innovative and decentralized video platform based on Swarm. I will show you today a preview of it with also an additional experimental integration with FairDrive from Fair Data Society. This is the main page of our dApp running on localhost. You can see here there is some settings like the referred index, you can change it, or you can change also the referred gateway. This is the B gateway. And here we have the integration with FairDrive, we will see it. And aside of this, we have a third drive file explorer. Now I'm going to log in. All right, we are in. This is empty, how you can see. And now I'm going to log in into our DApp. So here you can see we have several options. We can log in with Web3. So we are going to send a message with MetaMask, and this will log in as into the DApp. Here you can see my account. Now I have to log in also to third drive here. So no, of course, reload. All right, it is signed. Okay, now we are going to upload a sample video. We can choose if you upload into Swarm or Fair OS. Now we have to unlock the pod. Open connection, perfect. All right, now we have to select the video, upload. We select also a thumbnail. All right, and of course add a title, Synergy, add video. Perfect. Now we have uploaded the video. We can see it here, but also if you go to the file explorer, we can see there is a new Etherna folder with the new uploaded video inside here. And here also we can see the video and play it. And we have a button for watch it into Etherna, linking to this page. All right, it works. We also see here we have a comment section and a vote section. And we, for example, can add a comment. Wow, this is a great collaboration. Perfect. And upvote, of course. Clicking again to the file, we see this is updated because the third drive communicates with our index, and we see the comment. All right, it works. So this was a first sample from us, and a lot of more have to come. And if you want to see more about us, you can visit our website at etherna.io. Thank you.
So Mirko, if you are with us, maybe you could join live. Hello, Mirko. So nice to see you.
Hello, Sort. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. So that was a really great video showcasing also the use of FairDrive and how you put your player as a widget, right? If I say so. But how do you see the ecosystem of video platforms evolving, and maybe most importantly, when will we be using Etherna on Swarm?
Of course, I believe and we believe that the new video platform will have to move their economics from advertisers to users at first, and we are following this idea. And we are working for release a first public version this year, and we are working really hard. If you visit our website, you can see how you can help us.
So great, asking everyone to check out Etherna's website and see how you can help. So please, thank you, Mirko, for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye, Mirko. So we move to the next section, actually, so ecosystem next steps. So we hope that we have demonstrated the efforts and current evolution of the ecosystem to some degree, but we, of course, have plans to support the ecosystem to enable it to flourish even further. So today, the latest grant call closes, but further grant calls will be announced shortly. Grants are meant to support smaller projects that contribute to the ecosystem. So subscribe to Swarm newsletter, follow the blog for more information. Additionally, new fellowships will be structured and announced. As said earlier, fellowships are longer-term partnerships with projects building major pieces needed by the ecosystem. We're also working on providing workshops, summer school, and an accelerator for startups that would help gain missing knowledge maybe on the business side and help projects grow in that way. So I'll ask Robert to join us and speak a few words about that as he's leading these efforts. So Robert, please.
Thank you, Chert. Let me share the overview of the screen. You should have it full screen now.
Yes, Robert.
Yeah, wonderful. Yes, we've seen some examples already shown of projects which joined Swarm, some previous grantees as well. And we intend to grow this ecosystem through various efforts, specifically by a list of workshops we want to host throughout the summer and up until next year. We have a Swarm Summer School coming up in August, containing a variety of workshops to aid you in the development of your project. So not just technically, but also focus on other aspects of running and growing your organization. These are meant for startups, independent developers, or research projects and NGOs. So if you do intend, or if you're building already a DApp focused on data sovereignty or interoperability, feel free to join these to meet like-minded individuals and other teams and gain feedback as well. Specifically, if you're working on a startup which you want to grow and scale, we have the acceleration program called Honeycomb, which launches in September. It's an 8-week program in which we focus on all aspects related to your project to have it grow and make the next steps. So not just, I mentioned, not just technical, but also, okay, how to grow your organization, what legal aspects will be involved, working on your business model. And for that, we gather speakers to aid you, mentors and trainers as well. This is for startups focusing on data processing and data generation, and also for data providers. So we try to get both parties aligned to come to a fair data society. If you're interested with your project in one of these options, follow our newsletter and blog and our publications, because we'll be releasing soon more information on how to join. So, thank you.
Thank you, Robert. So finally, on the topic of data providers. So we're planning to support public data sharing and maintaining public data sets by the community by providing rewards to, we call them data stewards, those in the community maintaining public data sets, so that the community and society can benefit. So as said, join the newsletters, follow the blogs to know more about this. And at this point, actually, Michelle, now I would pass the microphone to you. Thank you for your help previously.
Yes, here I am.
Hello. So
that was quite a segment, actually. That was like literally packed with information and great demos, and I'm like blown away by it. So that was really inspirational. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, also, yeah, my thanks again to the projects presenting. They were really interesting. And now I will tune out and.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Bye-bye.
I will see you later at our shared location. So Yeah, it was amazing. So we are really near the end of our event here. But of course, we still have to hear from what I would call, the most important people that made this project and what it is today. So I would love for Victor Tron, Gregor, Daifier, I'm trying to pronounce it correctly, and Daniel Nagy. I would love to see you guys if you're there, please. Anyone?
Hello.
Ah, here's Victor
Hello.
already.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna try and switch my screen here so I can see you all. There you are. So I'll ask a question and I'll also state your name because otherwise it's gonna be like totally chaotic. To start off, Gregor, how are you feeling? And I love that T-shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like the T-shirt. You know, it's that's why the T-shirt is on. It's been an amazing journey, and today we launched a lot of stuff. I think we saw a lot of things, and it's I haven't processed it yet. I'm actually. I think it's going to come after me.
Yeah, I totally understand. I'll have the same thing. I'll probably need like a few days to even like realize everything that was, presented and said, and I have this special thing. So Gasper, I hope you're ready. But can you share that picture that I wanted to show? So guys, especially like yeah, it's really hard. But in this picture, I'll first describe it. So this picture is DEFCON 0, Ethereum DEFCON 0. And if you look very closely, you will see Danny and Victor at the left of the picture. So I just wanted to show this picture to you guys because, I sort of feel like I missed this moment in Ethereum, but I'm so happy I can be in Swarm for this moment. Victor, do you sort of feel the same vibe?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's very exciting. It's like, I mean, that was really the inception of everything. That from 0. It's hard to compare it to anything else. Really, that was a really very serious historic moment. But I would say that this is when the idea of Swarm really got born, right? And just maybe I take the opportunity now to give credit to those people at Ethereum who made this possible and who were really the fathers of the idea. So Gavin Wood, who together with Vitalik and Jeff basically came up with this idea of the Holy Trinity, and so soon after the Ethereum was conceptualized, they realized that this can be used to underpin the new internet and then create a world computer of sorts. And I would also credit some other people, in particular Alex Leverington, who was the author of the DEF peer-to-peer protocol there and has a lot of experience in this kind of peer-to-peer systems, and he was the one who contributed quite a bit of the initial networking ideas. I'm not saying that a lot of his ideas remained in Swarm, but he was definitely inspiring and contributed to the ideas. And of course, thanks goes to the entire Ethereum team who together with the foundation as well, who incubated and basically supported us throughout the years and supported the research that underlies the current product that we're launching now. So huge thanks to them, to the foundation, and to Ethereum specifically.
Yeah, I think we all can share that sentiment, Victor. I want to go to Danny now because Danny, you are in that picture of DEFCON 0, I think it was called. How does it feel for you? Like maybe you should say like, what do you do in this project?
So I'm mostly doing architecting and research. At DEFCON 0, I already made a presentation about how we envision Swarm, and Well, actually, I would say that that particular presentation held up pretty well. So if you listen to it now, it's kind of sort of how it turned out to be, because it was not very rich on details. That was its saving grace. Yeah, it's been almost 7 years now, and I must say that in the beginning, nobody, not a single person, estimated correctly how difficult it would be. So nobody would have expected it to last this long. It
So
should have been.
what was the sentiment back then? What did you say? Like, in this amount of time, we will have it.
2 years, 3 years, maybe. But
Oh,
definitely.
it's still a long time. It's still, I mean, I heard people predict like oh, we'll scale Ethereum in like 3 months. So I mean.
Well, Ethereum, yes, but Swarm as a subsystem, it was already understood that it would take a year or two. But yeah, it turned out to be a lot more difficult than anybody could have imagined. So here we have an interplay of peer-to-peer networking, emergent behavior of self-interested actors, peculiarities of storage. Also, we got basically bumped head-on into the growing pains or scaling pains of Ethereum. So yeah, there were many unforeseen difficulties, and even the foreseen ones turned out to be much more demanding than we imagined. But here we are, launching 1.0 today. And well, hopefully things will work.
Yes, we all certainly hope that things will work.
At least to the extent that is reasonable to expect. Definitely, there's a lot of anticipation, because what we've seen in the market for the token is unbelievable. Like how people are snapping up buzz is just defies belief. Really.
Okay, so
very surprising to me.
Yeah.
Also, I think what I would really like to see is people actually using Swarm. So I would like to see some dApps which don't need any backend infrastructure to have Swarm as either one of their hosting providers or maybe even their main hosting provider. It would be nice to see dApps live on Swarm, because that's the primary purpose. That's why that's the the raison d'etre, the reason for Swarm to exist, why it was envisioned back in 2014 to host dApps. And I'm really looking forward to seeing dApps dabble first and then full-heartedly migrate to Swarm in the coming months.
So Gregor, I know you are always looking forward in the future. You seldom look back or think about things that happen. So what are you thinking about now? Are you at least standing still for a second, realizing what an important moment this is, or are you already thinking about the future?
Well, of course we have future plans, but if you like right now, I've been actually really thinking, watching all this, and it's before you ask me how I feel, it's the whole journey has been amazing, and we didn't maybe mention the people aspect. It's like the Swan team has grown like to about 40 people in a year, and going towards 1.0, it was like also really big bonding. It's we got to know each other. The vibe in the team, it's really buzzing. Doesn't matter if you listen to the dev guys or to the ops guys who try to figure out how to launch the token. It's like this this passion, you know, I'm really grateful for that. It's like a humbling experience, and maybe in this regard, my biggest wish is that we continue like that. That as a team, we grow, we are become stronger, and that this blurriness, or however we call it, you know, spills over into the ecosystem, and yes, you know, that this one just grows and we continue.
I think you can already see that. We watched all these demos, and there are so many people enthusiastic about what Swarm is and what we can achieve with it. So before you make me cry, Gregor, I'm going to go to Victor, because he often makes me smile. Victor, like this is going to maybe be like a really weird question, but for you this must be a very special moment. But like, what would you like to see like in the coming 3 months?
Honestly, holiday. In all seriousness, yeah, uptake of Swarm, and I would like to see people use it, and I would like to see people use it because it is useful and it's working. I truly believe that we achieved a very significant milestone with this release. Our development methodology and last minute changes might deter some people from evaluating the hiccups in kind of a different way. But I think we got something stable to show today, and I wish that those features that didn't make it to the 1.0 release will be duly and like anticipated by the users, and I really hope that in the coming year we're going to realize a lot of the gems and real killer features that we advertise over the years, including the access control, the error coding and resilience and all kinds of other features. I really think that this is a really crucial moment, and a kind of new paradigm might start with this, which we can pave the way to proper decentralized internet and applications, which also not only kind of cautiously put as Danny would say, like the applications that have no backend component can respond, but in fact pave the way to infrastructure where some backend component can also run under Swarm in a kind of similar way to what's already been demonstrated by Gregor, for example, about communication. And these components, including database services, start to evolve and hopefully support much more sophisticated applications than just static site hosting, including maybe like things like Reddit, etc. So I'm really looking forward to the next period, and now I'm a bit agitated, I have to say. It's a really big moment for me, kind of a moment of truth, and also a big relief that finally we reached this stage. This is kind of our brainchild with Donny, and I think it's quite moving that to live this moment through, and it was long overdue. And maybe I also have this chance to thank the team and thank my friend Donny and Gregor to support throughout all these difficulties and persevere over the years against all austerities and all kinds of problems and problems with the perception of Swarm, and also with these struggles in the financial department. So thank you very much for your support, and big huge thanks goes to the team, all the new who contributed to this project, and and really all the credit goes to them when it comes to the product that's going to come out today. And yeah, thank you everyone, and thanks a lot for the community for their unrelenting support over the years, and thanks for your patience. And I really hope it's going to pay off. Thanks.
Yeah, so now you're still making me cry, Victor. So that's not fair. I mean, if I want to have tears, I'll go to Gregor. But anyway, just kidding. So Gregor, yeah, I would love to just. I think by now, I think everything has been said. No, or do you have like thing up on your sleeve? Because sometimes
you know, I was like thinking also in a way, really, as Victor pointed out, the team really. I was thinking like who I could say like who were the rock stars, you know, like who were standing out, and then I realized I would need to list the whole team.
Well,
It's
start
like,
by looking in the mirror, Gregor.
It's amazing. It's everybody in the team, and really, even outside of Swarm, you know, it's like not just the team, also the support, especially in the past couple of months and years, also that we got, and the ecosystem and everybody. It's yeah, I'm just beyond grateful for everything at this moment, and yeah, I'm also about to cry.
Yeah, I really want to point this out. Gregor, and I think I can speak for the entire team. We want to thank you because you did an amazing job leading this team from, you know, a bunch of hackers basically to a well-oiled organization that actually achieves things and can deploy things and can go to production. And so this is, you know, you did an amazing job doing that. And I yes.
Thank you.
So,
but it's not a solo play.
No, I know, but you know, this I think it was high time this was set in one of these live events, because you know we're all like joking and playing around, but you know you're actually doing like this amazing job. So thank you so much from the whole team. I think I can say.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're coming near the end. I think this is like a good note to end it. I just want to ask, these guys are like really special, I think, to us. Everybody who is giving support in Discord, can you please show your face? I mean, you don't have to show your face, or just do like a, you know, we just want to look. There's like Philippe. Philippe is PhiloZoom in
exactly
in our PhiloZoom. Philo. We have who else do we have here? There we have L, definitely. Hey, from the US. I think. Yes, or from a VPN somewhere, I should say. And we have Rox, who is also like quite active in the Discord. Guys, he did like an amazing job the last couple of weeks, giving support, helping people, you know, run like test notes, and you know, I know it was a crazy job, but you guys did an amazing job. So thank you so much for helping us out. Great job.
Thank you too.
So anyone else on the call, please feel free to show your face. Come on, guys, the whole ecosystem is here, so we should celebrate that. Look at that. You know, I can truly say that we're like totally international here. It's like all over the world, these people. And, you know, now that we have this like beautiful screen filled of tiles with like this amazing talent, look at that Linen Labs there. That's amazing. Hi, Linen Labs. So they're already drinking champagne in South Africa. We're going to do that too, I hope, in Budapest. So guys, from Budapest this time, I wish you all a wonderful future Swarm and many, many more versions than 1.0. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Edina, hi. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Let's go listen to Blur music, Blur Buzz Radio, and celebrate in real life. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Amy, what's the name?